What's happening, Nerdtopians? Welcome to Nerdtopia. I am Doolin and Dalton.
And I'm Rick Rodriguez.
And here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting in the corner of Dr. Doom's basement, but he's our homie, so we never ever pay rent. N to the E to the Nerdtopia, like a plasma cannon, man, you know we're steady smoking. Yep, comics, books, movies, and video games are our claim to fame and recognition of name. We've changed the reign, but kept it the same, and we hope to gain acclaim from time of the game. We're coming at you repeating from Walking Dead, and you know we got pissed when the Redding ran red. A plethora of guests, even more than Bill and Ted. The Raiders of the Lost are gonna go to our head. It's dangerous to go alone, your iPod should have us, and Superheroes got our back, and that you can trust. We're blowing up crazy large, like our name was Alderaan, so let's give a hand to Doolin, cause his mic is on. Word.
All right, we're back. Back for another week. Back for another round of nerdy goodness. How's your week going, Rick?
Oh, it's going all right. It's over. Time for the weekend, dang it.
It is over. You know, actually, I wasn't gonna do an episode this week. As I said last week, I said, well, we're gonna skip a week, and then I surprisingly found out I didn't have to work this week.
You've been enjoying a birthday weekend.
I did, man.
It was Doolin's birthday this past Monday, or was it Monday?
I think Sunday. Last Sunday was my birthday. And
yeah, it was Doolin's birthday.
Yeah, it was, man. I turned...
He's 45.
35, damn it. No, 35. I took some time. I rented a car, and I made the 12-hour trek back home to our hometown, where neither one of us live currently.
Right.
But spent a couple days down in sunny Vero Beach, Florida. Hung out by the pool. Then me and some friends went out to
check
Disney
your travel agent for time and destination.
Yeah, it's a oh God, I hate that drive, man. I hate that drive. And I did.
Did you do I-95?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of I-95 in South Carolina. And there's just a lot. Most of the stretch is I-95. And I did something.
Once you get to the Carolinas, you just hit on I-95, because I remember coming from New York, like upstate New York in Rochester, and you got to take the scenic route, and then finally when you get to the Carolinas, it's like I-95 all the way, and it becomes I can imagine.
No,
I've been through that. It's tunnel vision. You're just like,
Well, I had some podcasts and things, and I listened. Actually, I listened to our last episode, because sometimes I like to go back and just kind of listen, more like a proofread. Like, oh, how did this turn out? I mean, even though I go through and I edit, I still like to go back and listen. So I listened to our last podcast where we talked about Rogue One. And, got down there to good old Florida. Spent the weekend. Spent a day in Disney. It's funny. I went to. I'm 35 years old. I went to Blizzard Beach for my birthday, and I go home and I see my mother, and she's like, so what are you doing for your birthday? And I said, well, I'm gonna go hit up a water park with a couple of my buddies. And she laughed, and she said, do you know what you did 20 years ago for your birthday? I was like, when I turned 15? And she said, yeah. And I said, I think I went to a water park with some of my friends. And I was like, wow, man, I've truly come full circle. Or maybe I just haven't moved from that position at all. I don't even know.
Or that's about what you do in Florida.
Yeah, pretty much. It is what you do in Florida.
You go to the water parks or the theme parks,
And, spent some time with friends. Got shot down by a lady because, what else are you going to do when you turn 35? Hey there, girlie. I host a podcast.
Oh, my God.
Not at all creepy.
Yeah, maybe you should have drooled on her and, petted her hair.
Yeah, exactly. Come here. I got a place in the back of my panel van for you.
Hey, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, exactly, man. But no, we weren't gonna do it. We weren't gonna do one this week, and then I had a little bit of extra time, and I thought, you know what, screw it. I can throw one together last minute. Called Visengard, who you've heard on some of the podcasts with me, and I said, hey, come do a podcast. And he said, all right, yeah. And then he texted me today and said, no, I can't do it. So I called in Rick, and here we are today. Gearing up for Dragon Con, man. I'm super excited. Going to be going down to Atlanta, Georgia next week, and gonna do an episode from Dragon Con. I'm super stoked about that.
That's awesome. What's the schedule there? Like, any big guys over there?
They've got a number of people. They've got like a handful of some of the original Power Rangers. I think are going to be down there. Billy Schatz will be there, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to go see some Kirk, man, while I'm there. I might
the ego himself.
I got. I'll probably do a little bit of. Probably watch. I think there's like a wrestling event. I'll probably go see.
I saw that once at MegaCon.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. Wrestling's fun, man.
It's disturbing.
Is it really wrestling?
Well, I saw one where it was like a little person. There, I mean, it's wrestling, so the little person was winning.
By little person, do you mean midget, or are we just not
like
saying
Willow.
little person? Okay.
Yeah, I read recently
They don't.
that it's actually actually derogatory.
It's now. Well, I mean,
like
I don't mean anything derogatory by it, but like, come on, I can't.
I know.
I can't keep up with it.
That.
Exactly. I'm not. Anyways, but okay, so we'll say for the sake it's little person. So a little person's wrestling, and then what happened?
He was like shoving this guy in his butt.
Okay.
Like for the humiliating victory kind of thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, and like I'm looking around and there's like a kid on a guy's shoulders, on a dad's shoulders, and I'm just like, what the hell, Roman?
It is like, the total it is the total like Roman Colosseum sort of mentality. Like we still have that ingrained in our DNA, I think, and wrestling is like the safest way that we get it. You know what I mean? It's a show. It's a
like
performance.
Because like across the room, it's like that big wrestling event is going on across the room. There's like, you could have like had a camera guy over there like with like, all right, so how about $20 for the mint condition, a Wolverine cards, like just wheeling and dealing for the merchandise as this like debauched wrestling match is going down.
Oh dear God,
it's just crazy.
Well, what we're gonna do today, since I was in such a hurry to crank it out, is we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do the top 10 favorites and least favorites from our youth. So today is gonna be a little bit of a nostalgic episode. You know what they say about nostalgia, Rick?
No,
it's just not what it used to be.
Oh, that's clever.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, so from our childhood, and this one actually, this one kind of transcends our childhood because it goes a little bit before, a little bit after, but we're going to count down the best and the worst. And this one, we're starting with the top 10 worst comic book to screen adaptations. Here we go. You ready?
Lord knows.
I got this from denofgeek.com. So I'm crediting the sources on. So this is just, somebody's list, and it's a hell of a lot easier than making my own list. So here we go. denofgeek.com, counting down the top 10 worst comic book adaptations of all time. Number 10, The Amazing Spider-Man TV series, circa 1977 to 1979. Of course, so this is before our time a little bit.
But I'm familiar with that.
I am familiar with it.
Yeah, either it was like rerunning, it had to have been rerunning. Obviously, I was not alive in the 70s.
Right.
So I've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of it. I remember like the special effects were terrible. It was silly. It was like the costume he got was like something that you would get at like a Halloween store.
It was a Halloween Spider-Man.
It was a Halloween Spider-Man costume. Like even had like holes in the eye sockets so he could see out of them. Stuntman swinging on a fishing wire. And I remember there was no like supervillains in it that I could remember. I mean, I'm like reaching.
It was like
I'm reaching like way back.
It was like Streets of San Francisco with Spider-Man.
Right. I remember there was one episode. There was one episode I saw where he basically just fought.
Oh my God, you remember an episode?
Very vaguely. I remember watching like he's walking through this building. And he gets attacked by ninjas, and he's just fighting ninjas. Just Spider-Man fights ninjas, which I'm sure happened plenty in the comic books, but it didn't have any like real bearing on anything. That's just all I remember is Spider-Man fighting ninjas. That's it.
Get Spider-Man. I can hear the 70s walk. Probably had that kind of score.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
I remember
you
as
cross
a kid,
Spider-Man. Well, go ahead.
Right, exactly. I remember like when I was a kid, it was very disappointing that it was like first live action, right?
That I know of. Yeah, I think it might have been like one of the first live action comic book adaptations. I don't know if they really. I mean, aside from like the Incredible Hulk, I think Incredible Hulk was probably the first one.
Yeah,
but this
is
is about
this. Spider-Man.
This is, and they probably cashed in on the Incredible Hulk's popularity since that was such a popular show in the 70s. I think this came in on the tail of the Incredible Hulk. So like, oh well, it's working with the Incredible Hulk. We can do it with Spider-Man, and they couldn't do it with Spider-Man.
Yeah. See, and I remember that being disappointed that he had like web bracelets. Because in the comics, there's no bracelets; it just shoots out of his wrist.
Right. Well, you never question
it. He built a thing, but he put it underneath the outfit.
Right.
And in that one, it was like clearly like he's shooting rope. Like it doesn't look like web or anything like that.
Fishing string.
Yeah, that's the most distinctive thing I remember about it. And yeah, definitely like the look of the guy. He was like ultra skinny and just like just jumping from like one ledge to another.
It certainly didn't look like a high school student either, but that's neither here nor there. All right, number 9.
I remember that. No shit, yeah.
Number 9, Doctor Strange, believe it or not. From 1978, I did not even know that this existed.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. Let's see.
Oh my god.
Let's see. It took place in 1978, and like if you see the picture of this guy, actually, if you're watching it on the YouTube channel, I'll throw up the publicity photo that I'm looking at right here. He's got like the 1970s porn stash going, like no beard or anything like that. Just like the 70s porn stash. He looks, and he's wearing like gold chains and stuff. It looks freaky, man. Like I didn't even know that this existed.
He's a pimp.
But apparently,
oh my god, I'm looking at it. Oh my
god. Are you seeing it?
He looks like a pimp.
That's what I
said. It looks like a porno.
Exactly.
It looks like a porno.
A porn pimp.
Doctor Strange in the house. Oh my god, it has Jessica Walter.
Does it really?
Jessica Walter from Arrested Development and obviously Archer.
Is that Lucille Bluth? Yeah. Oh wow, she was in that.
Yeah, I'm looking at a cover. She's standing like next to him, like luring at, like, hey. No, actually, it's like a nasty face.
Well, she does the bitch face very well. All right, number 8. Number 8. Here's one that you are going to remember. 1990 Captain America.
Oh my god, yeah, yep.
Oh my god, dude. I remember watching that on like HBO on like a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of the summer.
I recorded it.
Oh my god. It was like that was one of those things where you didn't care how bad it was. You were just so thrilled.
Captain America.
You were just so thrilled to see a superhero movie at that point in time. And although I'm pretty sure this isn't on the list, but it's about the same time that the Dolph Lundgren Punisher came out. And watching.
Yeah, those are both Canon films. Do you remember do you ever heard of these guys? Canon Films was this production thing. They made movies in the late 70s, early 80s. There was always really, really B movies. Mm-hmm. They basically are the ones that gave Chuck Norris a career with all the missing in actions and like Invasion USA.
So they're responsible for Chuck Norris.
Say what?
They're responsible for Chuck Norris.
They're responsible for Chuck Norris, and they gave Jean-Claude his big break with Cyborg.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they are the ones responsible for Masters of the Universe, and they had the rights for a long time for like Captain America and X-Men and Spider-Man. And you can look it up online, everybody. Like there's stuff where they thought they completely did not understand what Spider-Man was, and they did a script where it was like they thought it was like The Fly.
Oh no!
Turning into like a spider.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
No clue what it
was. That exists?
No, they didn't make it. They didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
They almost did. They just completely like misunderstood what the whole concept was, and people were like, "No, what are you doing?" So thank God that didn't make it. So it bears to show because these guys are the ones that finally also did the Captain America movie.
Oh, okay.
They were just cheap bastards.
Oh God, man, that movie.
It's shit. I remember that one well.
Oh,
I remember like.
The Italian Red Skull. What the hell was that about?
yeah. I think I saw a clip recently.
He's Italian.
He's
Why?
alive. Who? He's like, he's alive. Who? Captain America.
I remember, like, only in the opening scene does he actually have like the like legit Red Skull, and then when they bring him back in like the later scenes. He has like facial reconstructive surgery done, so he's just got this. He looks more like Jigsaw from the Punisher than he does.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Yeah, and like slick black hair, and they call him the Red Skull. I'm like, no, wait, what? What the fuck? No, what? No, bring back the Red Skull. Like that's why he's the Red Skull. He was only in that one scene, I remember, and then there was like There's like this whole action sequence with him and the president of the United States were together.
God, I remember
they were
that.
fighting the Red Skull together, and the president
And his minions.
the president was just this old man, you know.
Yeah, that's Ronnie Cox from RoboCop and Total Recall.
Oh my god, dude, those are deep cuts, man.
It wasn't the president like. All right, first thought like Captain America was strapped to like a nuclear. Yeah, he's strapped to like a nuclear missile.
Yeah, he was strapped to a
And
nuclear
it's
missile.
It goes from Germany all the way to America. Like like all the way, and it's gonna hit the White House. But this kid's taking a picture, and Captain America like kicks something, and it.
He like sets it off course, and then it like lands in the Arctic or something.
The kid took the picture
Oh,
of him and knew who he was, and so later he becomes president, and later he like shows the photograph to Captain America when he's being rescued, and Captain America's like, "You were the." I remember he's like, "You were the boy." It's like, how does he remember? How does he see him? That makes no sense.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you know what? I
worst.
think that's.
And yeah, but you're right. When we were kids, it was like, well, this is it.
This is it. We've got a superhero on the screen. Don't care how shitty it is.
Right. Yeah,
Man.
that belongs on the list.
That does. All right. So moving down from that one to another one that came out just a few years later, which I know you know quite a bit about this one, man. 1994's Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
That was
Roger
Corman, man. Roger Corman put that one out, and it's sort of like a hidden. I don't want to say cult classic, but in its own, it's developed its own cult following. Just in first of all, how bad it is and how hard it is to find.
Yeah, because it was never meant to be released. It was just made for them to these producers to maintain the rights on it, and
I think
they
there's
got Corman and his company to do it real quick.
Yeah, I think there's a documentary about the making of the 1994 Fantastic Four movie, if I'm not mistaken. But
I don't know.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the picture now, and like, and if you thought that like Michael Chiklis looked bad as the Thing, like this dude, whoever played the Thing, that it is really just in a rubber suit, dude. It's bad. It's really
I
bad.
remember it.
I've never actually seen it. I wouldn't mind.
I'm not either. But let me say, like, the rep is bad about it, but
Yeah.
I saw these other guys talk about it online where they watch it and they say, like, they watch it comparatively with the two other superhero movies, which I'm sure are actually on this list. One of them was Captain America. I don't want to say the other one in case it's on this list, where they actually come to the conclusion, like, Fantastic Four is better.
Really?
Is the best of these three terrible movies they watch. Apparently, because it's like, it's despite that it's really cheap, and the acting is poor. It seems to be very actually kind of faithful to the Fantastic Four, and it seems to actually like it knows what it is, and it's like, here's the story, here's how they get their powers, here's Doctor Doom, gotta stop him, end of movie. like no messing around, they just go for it, and that's it.
I feel bad for the Fantastic Four, man. They can't get a decent movie. They've tried. They've tried and they've tried. They just cannot get a decent movie. So maybe someday.
Yeah, I barely watched the ones that were with Chris Evans, and I never saw the one with. Life's too short.
They were bad in their own right. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they got the tone right at least.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they just weren't good movies. But anyways,
right.
Fantastic Four, number 8 on the list. Moving down to number 7, of course, everybody's favorite, 1997, Batman and Robin.
The classic, the infamous classic.
I'm sorry, that's number 6. My bad. Number 6 is Batman. Yeah, because number 7 was Fantastic Four. Gotta get it right. All right, so yeah, number 7, 1997, Batman and Robin. So I don't really think that one bears much discussion.
What can be said
that hasn't already been said? We'll just say bat nipples and move on.
It really, and I'll say this: it really is as bad as its rep.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it got ripped into a lot, but you know what? For me to like go back and watch those movies, I can actually. First of all, I can enjoy Batman and Robin on a level. The way I can enjoy Batman and Robin is I think of it...
What, drunk?
No, not even that. Here's the filter that you have to view Batman and Robin through.
I don't know you anymore.
Okay, well, just can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Fine.
Hear me out here. think about it through terms of you're watching an old episode of the Adam West 1966 series Batman. Now imagine they made a movie based on that, and therein you have Batman and Robin.
I'll give you that, but I think that it's a bad episode. Then
okay, fine. It's a bad episode, but it kind of
it's camp.
It's just weird. It's funny to me because like when you go back to Tim Burton's 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton, and they went like so dark with it. It's not really dark by today's standards, but it was very dark for 1989. It was dark for 1989. But its mood is dark. Its mood is very dark, and then I think because they were trying so hard, because the only Batman we'd really seen on the screen up until that point, with the exception of like the 1940 serials, was Adam West's Batman. And so to put them on the screen, I think that they needed to move as far away from that as they could. So they're like, all right, here's a Batman for you. He's dark and gritty and brooding.
Oh, yeah, and the comimics had reflected.
Absolutely.
It changed through the 70s, and Frank Miller's work had come out,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So no more of that, come on, old chum. Like, none of that.
Right.
And then, but
time for bed, Robin.
As the as the series of movies kind of progressed, they just kind of went sort of all the way back to that 1966
they got
series.
More and more kiddie.
They went full circle. They really did.
It's not hard to. It's toys. It was toys.
They were selling toys. That was basically what it was.
Don't be scary. Can you make it a little lighter? Because we want kids to buy the toys and the parents to be happy. All that crap. And so it becomes but I think it's a pretty bad movie.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Don't get me. I'm not defending it. It's a bad movie. I'm just saying I can enjoy it. I can enjoy it on a level. I'm not going to go watch it tonight.
Batman Forever a bit. I think Batman Forever gets a little bit knocked on because of Batman and Robin. Batman Forever still got problems. It's still like really not good. More parts work, but it's not. That's not the bad movie that Batman and Robin is. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, I don't even really feel like, with the exception of like the first one, I don't even feel like any movies in that series kind of hold up for me anymore. Like all of them are kind of.
Returns?
Returns is super campy, man.
Returns is, what's actually interesting about Returns, like real quick, is that it's actually like yin and yang. It's like simultaneously super dark and you're right, super campy.
Yeah, it's
in like one scene. It's like really odd.
Yeah, it's
lawn dart.
Yeah, lawn dart. You've got Danny DeVito just chewing the scenery as the Penguin, and he's got a circus gang like out of nowhere.
And every line is a innuendo or like a pun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody wants to make fun of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze puns and shit, but like Danny DeVito was doing the same shit as the Penguin, and nobody seemed to mind at the time.
That's true. Even Batman. Remember, he like slams Catwoman. He's like, "Eat floor." It's like, oh god, no.
Moving down the list.
It really did start with Batman Returns. It's a really good point out.
Yeah, it really
we should do a podcast on those 4 one day.
We can sit down and just go over. We can just do over all of the incarnations of Batman. I'd be all about that.
Awesome. All right, stay tuned, folks. But anyway,
next up, the TV movie that was meant to be a pilot. This is also in 1997. There's a TV movie that was meant to be a pilot for a TV series for the Justice League of America.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you ever saw it, but here's the thing: they drew.
I think it's like real cheap looking, isn't it?
It's extremely cheap looking. Here's what they did: was they tried to draw on what was popular at the time. So if to go back, like you can watch it on YouTube if you are so inclined. But if you want to watch it, it's first of all, it doesn't have. I think like the most big leaguer that they have in there is Green Lantern is in it, and the Flash is in it, and then the rest of them are superheroes who people are going to be like, what? Who the hell are these people? I don't know. I don't get this.
Really?
But you've got like you've got the Flash.
Booster Gold.
Yeah. What's no Booster Gold, Martian Manhunter, the Atom. Ice, and there was one other that I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were all sort of like the B and C listers of the Justice League. So you've got no Batman, no Superman, no Wonder Woman. None of them were in there, probably because it would have cost them a lot of money to use those characters. But what they really did was they drew on what was popular at the time to kind of create this story. So if you watch it, it's a very choppy mashup between the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was popular then.
Oh, that makes sense.
And wait for it, Friends. I swear to God, it's like watching an episode of Friends, and occasionally they're like, "Oh, gotta rush into action," da, 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 and they take off.
They could use the same theme song.
It's they probably could, yeah. There's one.
For
oh my God,
you.
there's one scene that I remember watching, and it's hilarious where like they all go in, they all like save the day, and they duck into this alley. And they're discussing, like, while they're in this alley, they're changing out of their superhero clothes because it's totally safe in an alley, obviously, and they're putting back their civilian streets back on. And I think it's Wally West is the Flash. He basically says, like, yeah, I'm getting evicted from my apartment. I don't know where I'm gonna live. And like three of them just like, oh well, good luck with that, Wally, and they all just kind of leave. I'm like, they're not super friends.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, that was...
oh, my God. Look at the pictures online.
Are you looking at it? Isn't it bad? It's so bad, dude.
Jesus. It looks like Comic-Con.
They really spent no money. None.
Like they made these cars. Yeah. All right, we got $50 left over from the catering budget of the Batman movies.
Next up, we have 2004's Halle Berry, Catwoman.
Oh, my God, David Krumholtz. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Nah, that's all right.
Yeah, I never saw that. I never
did.
saw that, and I'm never going to.
I did, and it was terrible, and I'm not even going to dwell on it. We're going to move on.
It was like about fashion, wasn't it?
Yep,
It's like, I got to stop this evil fashion queen.
Pretty much.
Well, that says it all.
Moving on to 2005, Jennifer Garner's Elektra.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that on a plane.
Well, Daredevil didn't really do so well, so I don't know what made them think that Elektra was going to do well. But it was pretty bad.
I don't know, right?
It was pretty bad. It was just kind of boring. I don't really know what else to say about it.
I don't remember a thing about it.
Exactly. The fact that I watched it and I don't have a lot to say about it really says it all.
It's like I guess I made room for other things in my memory.
Next up, 2007 Spider-Man 3.
For number what?
Number 2.
Really? These are the worst?
Yeah, I mean this is denofgeeks.com. I mean, I could think of some movies a lot worse than Spider-Man 3.
Hell yeah.
Spider-Man 3 wasn't great. It had.
I'll wait for number 1, but then I'm going to mention some.
Oh yeah. We'll give an honorable mention. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 really gets shit on in ways that it doesn't deserve.
My main problem with Spider-Man 3 is they had, they had so much going for it with the first 2 movies, and then they ruined it by trying to cram too much in.
Yeah, it's not a good script.
Yeah, it was.
That's really the
script.
problem. It's a cram script, and it doesn't have a main plot, not a story. Everyone's going to be, well, the fucking Venom thing is the plot. No, that's not a plot. That instigates a plot, but no plot ever occurs.
Right.
Because like this, it's a bunch of subplots. It's like Sandman over here, Peter dealing with him maybe being the guy that killed Ben. Mm-hmm. Then he's also dealing with stuff with Mary Jane. He's dealing with the black suit. But there's no real center story with all these things attached to it. Right.
Yeah. It was just very loosely strung together, and it's like like watching it from the beginning. The most intriguing thing that pulled me into it was the Sandman, like his character and his story.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets sold short by all these subplots.
It's got a great origin moment.
Yeah, I mean, it had a great origin moment, and then it just kind of fell apart because they were trying to weave in both that and then the Goblin and then the symbiote.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Green Goblin.
Yep,
that's right.
The symbiote, and then Venom and Eddie Brock, and Peter and Mary Jane's relationship problems. I mean, and
then no plot.
Like, it's all subplots.
This is occurring, and Peter has got to stop this. Nothing like that ever happens until the very, very end.
Exactly.
That's not a movie. Yeah, but it has a lot of beautiful action stuff and like still great performances and still great effects, and like I know people like to shit on Tobey Maguire nowadays, but whatever.
Oh, man, he did a great job.
Yeah, I remember those movies came out. Nobody had dick lick crap to say about them having a problem with him. That's total fucking like revisionism. on a lot of people's part.
Yeah.
He did a very good job. No, he wasn't the wisecracker, but it was still a really sincere performance. And it's a better movie. I don't think it deserves to be number 2. Shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Once again, this is just from denofgeek.com that I'm pulling this from.
You fucked up.
This is some article writer pulled this, and I'm stealing it. So
he's probably younger than us. He's probably like, this is terrible.
Yeah, God, man, we're old.
Back in my day, superhero movies had stories.
And then finally, number 1 on the list, 2007's Ghost Rider.
Well, yeah, all right. I think there are worse, but all right. That's probably
two words, man. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, okay. I love Nicolas Cage still.
Sure.
Due to past work, the 90s mostly.
Sure.
But yeah, that was just.
He's scratching at the door. God, man, like if he was not
that kind of stuff
the scenery.
To like his monotone acting of like, I'll walk on both worlds.
You know, I feel like Nicolas Cage is either he's one of two things. Either he's a terrible actor, or he is just this like genius, brilliant actor that will not be appreciated until about like 30 years after he's dead.
Yeah, when the aliens.
Yeah, really. We'll see him, and then like suddenly something will click, and we'll like, wow, he was the greatest actor of all time.
Yeah, his work will bring world peace, like enlighten kids, and enlighten generations.
Just like,
I think he can be really genius.
Put the bunny in the box,
Right. But there's stuff like Raising Arizona, Adaptation, Leaving Las Vegas, And, recently he did a thing called Bad Lieutenant, and he's really, really great in those. But then it's like, then you see these clips online of him like. Even in Kick-Ass, he did his thing where he was on fire, and it was like naming out all the things for her to do for what was her face, the little girl. I forget.
Dakota Fanning.
No. It was a Chloe Moretz. I meant her character.
I don't remember.
And like he was like, remember he was on fire, and he starts like yelling out like different moves for her to do to like.
Oh yeah. Chloe Moretz. You're right. Yeah. Hit girl. Yeah. That was a great scene, actually.
He yells out one of them in like it's very Nicolas Cage. He's like, Robin's revenge. It's like, you're on fire, man. Like,
well, I mean, I thought that was a pretty
Nick Cage solo.
I thought that was a pretty but I mean, he could get away with it there because his character's burning to death alive.
I got you, but it's like burning to death, not like rocking out. I don't know.
Let's set you on fire and give you some lines of dialogue to deliver and see how you do it.
All right. Fair enough.
But that's
we'll see.
That's Den of Geeks' top 10 worst comic book adaptations of all time. So
where's Spawn?
Spawn was not on the list, strangely enough.
Where's the Phantom?
Phantom was not on the list, strangely enough, man. I don't know. I didn't write this list, man.
Where's the Shadow?
Yeah, any one of those would have been better choices, I think.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But
yeah, I'm sure people, like kids of this generation, don't even know what those movies are.
Oh God, don't get me started.
Those characters
are. So we're gonna no, that's cool. So that was a little piece from our childhood. This is I'm gonna wrap it up with our final top 10 most disastrous Saturday morning cartoon adaptations. Now this is coming from Cracked.com, so if you don't like it,
they get real esoteric, like things that are like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care for Cracked as much as I used to. They've really gone downhill. I mean, like 5-6 years ago, I used to love them, and they've gotten really, really bad. So okay, here we go. Number 10. Some of these are gonna make you laugh. Number 10. Rambo and the Forces of Freedom.
Yep, I have that shit. Yep, I have seen it.
I feel like that was.
I have the toy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that was that was their attempt to cash in on the popularity of G.I. Joe. Like, we need another G.I. Joe. Well, what do we have laying around? Well, we have the rights to Rambo. Put him in a cartoon show. You know, that guy that kills people and decapitates them and blows shit up. Yeah, put him in a cartoon.
Yeah, well, that was the 80s. That's when they made toys for R-rated movies.
That's true. That's very true.
There was RoboCop.
Yeah, that's true. There were RoboCop toys.
Yeah, but I remember that show, man, and it was very much G.I. Joe, because
Right.
like, Rambo had kind of a team, you know, and, like, it was still the Colonel, like, Rambo, we got another mission, the evil blah blah blah.
Oh, the
Cobra.
Colonel. You know what? Actually,
You know, have
I'll admit, I finally saw Rambo for the first time just last year. The first Rambo
Which one?
movie. The first one,
Oh,
First Blood. I watched it and I said that movie was amazing because it was on Netflix.
the first one's like a real movie.
Yeah. Like, it was amazing. It was a great film, and then when I finished it, Netflix was like, well, here's some other movies you might like, and then Rambo 2 and Rambo 3 are in there. And I'm like, yes, I would love to watch the other Rambo movies. And 2 was terrible, and 3 was even worse. So I don't understand what happened.
I love those movies because of, like, their relics.
Right.
Like, because 2 is so obviously, like, all right, this is the middle of, like, Reagan stuff,
Right.
and, like, you know, no, we didn't lose Vietnam, you know, and we're gonna right the wrong of, you know, like, Rambo refights Vietnam single-handedly in Rambo 2,
Right.
and wins and gets the, you know, and then Rambo 3, it's like him anticipating the stuff going on with Russia, not anticipating, exploiting the stuff going on with Russia, you know, when they had invaded Afghanistan in the 80s and stuff, and, like, he's, like, with the Afghan freedom fighters, which half of them were going to turn into the Taliban.
Oh.
Little did Stallone
Well, we didn't
know.
know that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But, like, they really are. The 2 and 3 are, like, real cartoons. Just live-action, dumb as shit, violent movies. With a lot of money behind it. But 1 is, like, a real movie. About this vet returning home
Yeah,
and getting
it was
screwed with.
yeah, it was really emotional.
Very. Yeah, the ending is incredible with Stallone, you know? Like, just in hysterics.
Oh yeah. Great performance.
Very sad. Yeah, yeah. The first one's a really good movie, and it's like, whoa, Oil and Water, the subsequent sequels. Yeah, and also, like, the funniest thing about the Rambo series is the titles. They don't make any sense.
No, they really don't. It's all backwards and shit.
Yeah, it's like First Blood, okay.
Rambo
First
2,
Blood Part 2.
Yeah, First Blood
Which
Part
I
2.
get, which kind of, okay, I get. And then, but then Rambo, the third Rambo was Rambo 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like,
and then with the final one, it's just John Rambo. Like,
yeah, it's just, I think in America it was just Rambo, and I think, and then in DVD it's John Rambo, which is like, what? Like, shouldn't the third one be Rambo 2, First Blood Part 3?
Yeah, right.
You know, and like, I don't know, he just didn't give a fuck. He's just like, Rambo, whatever. This is it. It's like, okay.
Totally agree.
Christ. Yeah, but yeah, those are weird movies, and that was a weird show to think back on. That was a throwback.
Some of these I actually have theme songs to the shows that I'll play. I didn't for Rambo, but and I don't for this one. But this next one on the list, counting down, is Ghostbusters. Not the real Ghostbusters with like Peter Venkman and all them, but there was like another crappy Filmation.
Oh, with the kids?
Yeah, I think there was like a monkey, if I remember. There's like a gorilla or some shit.
What?
It was seriously, it was a totally different Ghostbusters. Had nothing to do with the 1984 film. Did you not know this? I think this might have taken place in the early 80s or maybe the 70s. But it's the kids would like it was just called Ghostbusters. One word, not I think it was not the Ghostbusters, just Ghostbusters. That was a thing.
I'm seeing one where it was like, yeah, the one I'm talking about where it was like kids.
No, well, it might have been kids.
Wacky kids.
Might have been kids. But yeah, not the real Ghostbusters. I think they called it. I think when they made the real Ghostbusters TV series, they called it the real Ghostbusters. To kind of jab.
Oh my god!
To jab
I see
at them.
it here. Ghostbusters Ecto Force or something.
No, that's not even it.
I remember this.
Oh man.
No, you're right. It's just Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this knockoff shit?
It was just that. It was knockoff shit. Crazy.
Do you see the ghost symbol? It's like Casper is in a circle.
Yes. It's insane.
What the hell, guys? You assholes.
So because of that, they earned themselves the number 7 spot on the list from
Oh,
Cracked.
deserve it. I remember that. I really have a memory of that. And like it was that same thing of like, well, like it says Ghostbusters.
I guess
I
we
like
may as well just go ahead.
Ghostbusters. I guess
We'll just go
watch.
ahead. You know what? It's kind of like one of those things where like my dad tricked me into watching Get Smart when I was really little. If you remember Get Smart, that was a great show.
Yeah.
But it was Don Adams who also voiced Inspector Gadget. And so I came in wanting to watch cartoons one day,
I didn't know that.
and yeah. Could you? Listen to the voice, man. It was very obviously Inspector Gadget.
No, yeah. Now that you're saying it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god.
But I remember like I came in one day and I wanted to watch cartoons, and my dad's watching Get Smart, and he was like, I was like, Dad, I want to watch cartoons. He's like, well, this is Inspector Gadget. I was like, that's not Inspector Gadget. He's like, listen to
That's
him.
not me.
And I'm watching. I was like, he does sound like Inspector Gadget. So I sit down and I watch the whole damn thing, waiting for him to like pull out some sort of go gadget shit, and he didn't. And then like he used his shoe phone. It's like, see, he's got a phone in his shoe, son. Like that's Inspector Gadget. And I'm like, but yeah, that was how I got. That's how I got duped into watching Get Smart. I think this was kind of the same thing. Like we'll just call it Ghostbusters, and people will tune in. They're like, "What's this?" And then they'll just watch it.
People will have to. Yeah, they're in a freaking like 1920s car.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I gotta find this crap.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. Just YouTube it.
Jeez.
Number 7 on the list is actually the real Ghostbusters, according to this. Apparently, they failed to deliver. I watched the real Ghostbusters when I was a kid.
I did too.
I don't really think it deserves to be on the list, but that's just me.
It was for kids, and when you look back at the first movie, it's that weird thing. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the whole what happened with Ghostbusters this summer. You know, the first one is not really for kids. It works for kids because it's cool special effects and ghosts. But
Sure.
when you grow up, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I watched this as a kid.
Right.
There's some stuff here that like went over my head. I was just enjoying the fantasy stuff as a kid. But now the movie's really fucking funny on an adult level, you know?
Right.
But yeah, and that one's like the kids, and that's fine. I don't remember it being bad. I mean, I'm sure it would be crappy now because we're
because we're adults now. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's weird that they put that.
Yeah, number 7, and I didn't even know this existed. I had no clue. Rubik, the Amazing Cube. Never heard of it before, but apparently it was a cartoon series based on a Rubik's Cube. Like they're like, this toy is popular.
Fuck.
Let's make a cartoon out of it. And they did. And okay, so I'm reading this from crack.com. It says, how can you really make a television about an inanimate plastic polyhedron interesting? They made the titular cube sentient and gave it a variety of magical powers, which might not have been necessary if he'd had any arms. That was a show. They did that shit in the 80s. Like, hold on. I have a theme song. I'm going to play the theme song from this show. It's about 35 seconds long. So, go ahead, kids.
Oh my god.
Buckle up.
Who did it? Yeah, go ahead.
Buckle up. We're going to sit through Rubik the Amazing Cube cartoon. Here we go. It is all Hispanic kids. He's this little glowing Rubik's Cube with a face. What the hell? And they're flying away with him. Rubik, the Amazing Cube.
Carlos, Lisa, and Reynaldo Rodriguez.
Oh god. I think it's like the precursor to the Magic School Bus. Oh man! All right, so that was.
Make me watch this.
This next one I don't necessarily agree with either, but number 6 on the list is She-Ra, the Princess of Power. I don't agree with that one. I feel like that one was good in its own. It was good in its own right. Like, yeah, it was a spinoff of He-Man. I get that. It was He-Man that was geared towards girls. I get that. But you know what? I was a boy and I watched that show and I liked it just fine.
I remember that was like the first crossover episode of anything I'd ever seen.
Well, they did a He-Man animated movie. It was like a 5-parter, and in it they introduced She-Ra.
Right. He goes to her world or something vice versa?
He goes well, it was they basically they go. It was actually kind of interesting writing for that show because like they delve into his origin and they talk about like how He-Man in the 80s, he was from Earth, or his parent, he was from Earth, he was of earthly origin. As his parents were like astronauts, that got like caught in this like dimensional rift and landed in Eternia. Now,
really?
Yeah, they do like this whole like origin thing like later on in the series where like his parents were like astronauts and they once again they get caught in this dimensional rift and they come over here to this like Eternia, which is this alternate dimension basically. Like so they actually delved into it a little bit, and knowing he was chosen to one day wield this power sword, but he had a twin sister who was also chosen to wield this twin power sword, and so they were separated for whatever reason. I can't really remember. It's been years, but she was captured.
Oh, She-Ra's his sister?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I don't remember
She
this
was his
mythology, man.
No, she was his. No, She-Ra was He-Man's twin sister.
Oh, I thought they got down.
No, they did not get down, man. They weren't Luke and Leia up in this bitch. They had, there was a twin power sword in that world, and she was actually, from an early age, taken in by and raised by the villain of that show, Hordak. Hordak was kind of like her stepfather mentor character, and she was, so they introduced her as a villain in the show until like she discovers her purpose and her origin, and then that's when
it's like what the hell? It's like Willow. What's her face? Beth Morta and Sorsha.
Okay, yeah. But that was kind of like a cool sort of origin story for her. Like I remember, like the story kind of holds as cheesy as that show was, and as much as it was campy and just made to sell toys. That was kind of a cool story that those writers threw together. And I
watched this shit last week. Come on, man.
I really didn't. I promise. But
it's like the menu, the DVD menus, and behind you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of camp in that show, but I don't feel like it deserved to be on the most disastrous.
No, that's actually a show that I feel like, man, there really could have been a cool ass movie made of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and even though I loved the when I was a kid, the Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella one, now it's like that's like a movie I love to hate. Yeah. Or love to make fun
of. You know what? I'll still watch that movie, man. I don't care. I enjoy it.
Great ass score.
It does. It really does, doesn't it? And I enjoy Masters of the Universe, man. And I can even still kind of enjoy it with nostalgia.
I can too. But it's definitely got like.
It's not good. It's not a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Not very. Man, he's not very super. He's just kind of like,
he doesn't really perform any like super feats of strength or anything. That was always He-Man's big thing was he had super
he's not
strength.
Smart. He's just dull. Like he doesn't plan anything. He doesn't outsmart Skeletor.
He just kind of runs in guns blazing and gets lucky, really, more than anything.
The town has no population.
It's a small town in like the Midwest kind of thing.
Yeah, but like, and no one's there. Have you ever noticed that? Like when Skeletor goes in.
Yeah,
he comes in from Eternia. Like the street is like desolate.
Yeah.
There's like nobody there. It's not even a police force.
Fair enough.
It's just really funny. But Frank Langella he's like Raul Julia in Street Fighter. They just own those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
going down from She-Ra to number 5, the 1978 Fantastic Four. Never saw it. Not going to comment on it. Moving on.
1978 live cartoon.
Yeah, it was a cartoon from the 70s. Oh, now this one's funny, man. Oh my God. Okay, number 4. This was a thing that I had forgotten all about until I read this article. Number 4 is from a cartoon series called Pro Stars. Pro Stars was Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky. And like their super team force, kind of like Super Friends kind of series.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Oh my God! So this is, dude. I have to play the opening sequence, dude. This is too damn funny to pass up. So this is the opening sequence from Pro Stars with Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky. Here it is.
There we go.
Oh God. So their secret hideout is a gym where they all come out of their lockers. They have gadgets on their sports devices. Michael Jordan has rocket boots, man. Oh my God.
He doesn't need those.
And he saves the day with his tongue hanging out of his mouth. Oh, Wayne Gretzky, man. Bo Jackson picks up a trunk and destroys a truck with it. It's all about helping kids. Oh man.
Oh Jesus.
God, man, I that was something I had completely forgotten all about.
I never saw that.
God, I didn't watch it because I was not a sports kid. Shocker, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a very silly premise. But sports were big back then, and so like, let's just take 3 of the most popular sports stars of the day.
You don't see that now. Like,
yeah,
like, you don't get like sports cartoons or something like that. I feel like that happened a lot back in the day.
It really did. And speaking of people from other genres, number 3 on the list, Hammerman.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, real briefly.
Oh my gosh, it's like it was like the most convoluted. Like, if you ever wanted to see, like, what the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would have been like if he were fighting crime, you have Hammerman. Like, and it's, I don't know, it was silly. I remember he had the magic shoes and all that stuff.
And he still had his costume was his costume.
Yeah, his costume was his
the parachute pants and all that.
Exactly. We'll go ahead and speed through the rest of these because we're running along here. Number 2, Hulk Hogan, Rockin' Wrestling.
Did I see that one?
I don't know if you did or not. Had I vaguely remember it. You have like Captain Lou Albano who was in it, Roddy Piper, may he rest in peace. Big John.
I see it. Oh, I see the little thing. Oh my God, they got a cartoon Roddy Piper.
Yes. And then they made like, I think the chief villain was Andre the Giant, which kind of upset me because I was like, he's a good guy. Why would you do that?
Yeah, he was so charming.
Yeah. So that was Hulk Hogan, Rockin' Wrestling. That was big in a time. Now this one is number 1. Really is the best one, man, because you're not going to remember this one. I didn't even know this existed, and it's hilarious, man. Number 1 on this list takes it. Did you know that the Fonz had his own cartoon show?
Yes,
dude. Okay. Did you know that his cartoon show was about him traveling through time?
I vaguely remember that.
I just would like to see, like, I would like to be in that room and see that idea pitched so that people said, all right, that's an excellent idea. That's what we will do. We will send Fonz to travel through time.
That's funny.
All right, here we go.
I got to pull up a picture of that.
Dude,
hold on.
I'll do you one better. I'm going to play do
the thing.
I'm going to do the thing. Here we go. The Fonz. Here it is, in his Saturday morning debut, Fonz and the Happy Days Gang.
We got it all together now, gang. The Fonz. His doggy name, Mr. Cool, and the Good Group. One flaky time machine, and a future chick named Cupcake.
A future chick named Cupcake, and a talking dog. The time machine doesn't work, so he hits it and goes, "Ee." That's brilliant. Traveling through time. The doo-wop music kills me. They hope to get back to 1957 Milwaukee.
How the hell do you go from like what the Fonz is?
Like,
to
I
that?
guess they're just lost in time, and they just got to get back to 1957 Milwaukee because the Fonz. Hey.
It's the Fonz. He's got a flying saucer space time machine.
Oh my God! It's almost brilliant in its stupidity. Honestly, I mean, what can you say about that?
Oh, there's lots of shows like wasn't there Mr. T show like that?
There was a Mr. T show where he like rode around with a bunch of kids and did stuff. I don't know what he did exactly.
Stuff. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there was a lot of them, man.
That was a real heyday, the 80s, with cartoon shows.
They went on.
Like, anything and everything kind of seemed to have got its own cartoon.
This is true. God, well, that was fun, man. I had a lot of fun with that. Just kind of reminiscing on some of the best and the worst and the forgotten of our past. But
the forgotten.
It was forgotten. Some of that stuff was forgotten,
Thankfully.
man. Thankfully. Let's just put that into a box.
There's others. There's like GoBots. You remember GoBots? That was like the Transformers.
The Kmart Transformers.
There's a couple of those. I remember Masked Crusaders. Well, Masked Crusaders was good, but now I'm just thinking of all these 80s shows.
We should just do a series dedicated to that, man. Or not a series, an episode.
The good ones.
But yeah, man, that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for this week. If you guys are listening, tune in on our Facebook page next week, man. Thursday, I'm heading down to Atlanta at Dragon Con. Gonna be getting some video, some pictures. I'm gonna be making a video, so if you're gonna be around.
Do you know who your guest is going to be?
I don't know who's sitting in on it with me yet. I think I might ask Amanda Lindstrom to sit in there with me. Maybe
Wonder Woman,
because we always do the Superman Wonder Woman cosplays together. So
nice.
maybe we'll do that. We're doing a Kingdom Come.
You gonna save that? You want to announce that, or are you gonna just throw the pictures up? Where are you going as?
I've got a couple cosplays. I'm doing Kingdom Come Superman again.
Cool.
Yeah, she's I don't think she's doing Kingdom Come Wonder. She might still do Kingdom Come Wonder Woman. She still has.
Is she primed with her like new Gal Gadot Wonder Woman stuff?
She's all set with her new Gal Gadot Wonder Woman stuff, man.
Wow.
And then Richie, of course, joins us as Magog from Kingdom Come. We have a couple, and then Stephanie joins us as Power Girl. We have I actually my costume just came in the mail yesterday. My black symbiote Spider-Man costume will be here, so I'll be
So you post that.
Yeah, I'll be at the Spider-Man Spider-Verse photo shoot as well as the Marvel photo shoot, which is always fun. And I'll also be doing Bizarro Superman again. That's one that I have ready to roll, as well as I've got the Birds of War from Always Sunny ready to go. A couple people that are going to be doing that with us. So it's such a fun time, man. We were actually drinking with one half the WWE Tag Team Champions last year just because he saw us in costume and thought it was awesome. So
nice.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I can't wait to hear about it, dude.
Yeah, well, I'll try to do a live podcast, actually. I usually only do the live podcast when there's somebody sitting in the room with me, but I'm definitely going to do it live.
Cool.
But, Rick, thanks for sitting in on this episode with me, man.
Always a pleasure, man. Anytime.
Muchly appreciated. We'll get you back in here again real soon. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today for Welcome to Nerdtopia. I'm Doolin Dalton.
And I'm Rick Rodriguez.
And thanks for nerding out with us, guys. Have a good night. For Welcome to Nerdtopia, I'm Doolin Dalton.
And I'm Rick Rodriguez.
And thanks for nerding out with us, guys. Have a good night.
Do